Good morning and welcome to eCyclers USA. We're so excited to have you on as part of the team, and today we want to take a little bit of time to go over a couple details about your position and give you all of the tools that you need to become a successful team member here at eCyclers USA. As a member of our procurement team as a CSR, your responsibility is to represent this company to both existing clients and to prospective clients. This means that you will spend your day working with both clients that have worked with this company for years, and you will be working with clients that have never heard our name before. So we want to ensure that you have a basic understanding of who our company is, what we do, why we do it. So let's get started. I want to start off with a little bit of history about our company. So eCyclers USA began about 20 years ago. Dan Scott is the founder of this company, and he created this company based off of a need that he saw, and many would consider him to be a pioneer of the electronic recycling industry. We have clients that have been working with us since we started back 20-something years ago. But we are a small company, but we are a growing company. So it's very important that each of our team members, each and every employee that works here, understands exactly what we do and is an active member of our team. So we started off here in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is still where our main processing facility is. We also have 4 other regional warehouses, the first being in Pulaski, Virginia. We also have one in Nashville, Tennessee. We have one in Atlanta, Georgia, and one in Memphis, Tennessee. Now, you will most likely be working out of one of these regions, and with that, you'll be getting to know the existing clients there, and you'll also be working with new prospective clients to earn their business and to set them up in our program. But before you can really enroll a client into our program, you really need to know what our programs are and why we set them up in the first place. So we do electronic recycling. Electronic recycling is basically the process of keeping electronic materials as well as anything with a motherboard out of the landfills. When these materials get thrown into the landfill, they typically get buried in the landfill, and as they get rained on and as the materials break down around them, the hazardous materials that are contained within electronic waste will actually leach out and into the soil. Eventually what this does is that introduces these toxic materials into our water table, which means that we will inevitably be drinking this toxic material that we are throwing away. So our number one goal is to keep as much of this material out of the solid waste stream as possible. Now, how do we do this? We do this by offering our services to both private companies as well as city, local, and state governments. Now, our programs consist of 3 basic programs. The number one program that we have is regular recycling. Regular recycling is where we will work with our clients to set up a program that's customized to fit their needs, and we will set up a reoccurring service schedule. Now, this can be infrequent, this can be an as-needed basis, but we will come out and we will pick up any electronic waste that they may have. The second program that we have is recycling events. Recycling events are more along the lines of we will come out, we will pick up electronic waste from the local residents, and that consists of a sponsorship from either a city government, local, county, or even private companies will set up these recycling events, and What we will do is we will show up. We will be there to provide assistance as far as collecting the material and hauling the material off. Now, this organization will still be responsible for advertising and providing assistance and setting up the logistics of the event. We simply provide our service at that event for them. In our third program, which is our most popular and our recommended program, is our combination, and this is simply both of those programs put together. So it is a reoccurring electronic waste recycling program combined with either annual or biannual recycling events. Now, we work with clients of all different shapes and sizes. We have three basic categories of clientele that we work with on a regular basis. And the number one is school systems. That can be anything from Board of Education to a private school to a local college to a university. Any scholastic institution, we perform electronic recycling for them and we customize it to fit their needs. We also work with hospitals, and hospitals can be broken up a couple different ways, but we deal with the large university colleges, the large university hospitals, as well as local hospitals, regional hospitals, doctors' offices, anywhere from small doctors' offices to large doctors' offices. Any of those different organizations, we will work with them as well. The third one is going to be large businesses. Large businesses is a little bit different. So large businesses can entail anywhere from a company that employs 40 to 50 people to a company that has thousands of employees. Some of these companies will produce electronic waste in the means of they generate a lot of excess computer equipment. They're a technology company that produces material, and so we would have their old working equipment. The other thing that we have would be companies that produce some sort of component that might be a production waste type recycling program, such as a company that would create something with motherboards or some other sort of electric component or technology component. We would set up recycling programs for them. And then the last one that we work with in various different means is your government agencies. That's anything from city to state to county to federal government agency. We will work with them to set up recycling programs. It can be anything from recycling events to regular recycling programs. We will work with them. Now, keep in mind, as you're working with these government agencies, they oftentimes do not all work together. So various departments inside of one government agency, inside of one city or one county, may not necessarily communicate as far as recycling goes. So don't be confused thinking that because you've gotten one agency in that city to recycle, that the rest of them are going to use you as well. Make sure you reach out to those other ones as a recycler for that city. Now, you may be asking, what items do we accept for recycling? What is electronic waste? And that is a great question, and that's a question that you will answer every day while you're making phone calls, reaching out to new and existing clients. What is electronic waste? Electronic waste is really anything with a plug, a battery, or a motherboard. But let me break that down for you a little bit. So the basic things that we are going to pick up and the biggest things that you're going to have questions about, the electronic waste in our sense is going to be computers, laptops, televisions, monitors, small kitchen appliances, printers, copiers, network equipment, servers, computer cables, any kind of AC adapters or computer plugs, things like that, battery backups, projectors, office phones, handheld radios, docking stations, hard drives. We also accept toner, both new and used toner. We take Christmas lights. We take laptop bags. We also take lead acid batteries, which is batteries that you would typically find in a Power Wheels or in a electric wheelchair, things like that. They're pretty easy to spot. So those are the basic items that we accept for recycling. But for general sense of what we accept, if it's got a plug, if it's got a battery, if it's got a motherboard, we accept it for recycling. Now, keep in mind, our basic service is completely free. We do not charge for pickup. We do not charge for processing, and we will have our employees work to pick this stuff up and gather the stuff and load it into the truck if necessary. That being said, there are services that we offer that we do charge for. Now, these are basically broken down to 3 to 4 different items that we charge to pick up. And the first is the televisions. Any televisions, whether it's CRT or flat screen TV, is charged. Now we charge a very small fee to recycle these, and it is just to cover the cost of recycling these materials. CRT monitors are the same thing. They will be charged at the same rate as televisions. Now, flat screen computer monitors we do not charge for. That is the most common monitor that will be seen nowadays, so we do not charge for those items. The next item that we charge for is going to be mixed lots of batteries. We do not charge for lithium-ion batteries, and we do not charge for lead-acid batteries. However, we do charge for other types of batteries, such as your alkaline battery, your nickel metal hydrate battery, or your nickel cadmium battery. Those are different batteries, so if those are in the lot, then it is charged at the going rate. Be sure, if you have questions on these rates, make sure you get with your recycling manager in the call center to find out what the going rates are for these different materials. And then thirdly, the last item that we will charge for is fluorescent light bulbs. Fluorescent light bulbs, we will gladly accept them, but they do need to be packaged. They need to be packaged in boxes, and so that when we pick them up, they're not laying around the truck. What happens is they get busted up in the truck, and then it causes a great mess, and really they're not recycled properly at that point. So be sure that you, as you go through out these phone calls, you express to the customers and to the clients and prospective clients that these are items that we charge for, and if they want to add those services on to regular recycling, we would be more than happy to set that up for them. You may be asked from time to time about eCyclers USA's certifications and what we possess for certifications. And let me assure you, there are 2 certifications that are known for the electronic recycling industry, and that is eStewards and R2 certifications. eCyclers USA operates under the strict guidelines of both of these certifications. We ensure that any of our downstream vendors possess these same certifications in order to do business with us. We have hired a team to aggressively pursue these certifications so that we can also have these qualifications, and we expect to have that accomplished very soon. Another question that you will get, especially if you're dealing with a company that has sensitive information or HIPAA information, is what do we do with hard drives? And that is, it's a very easy answer. We are extremely concerned with the data that comes through our facility. So what we do is every piece of equipment that comes through that contains a hard drive or any device that contains information or has the ability to store information is immediately routed to our secure area in our facility where any information is erased, sanitized, and destroyed. These items are incredibly important to us. We hold our clients' information very strictly. We take responsibility for it as soon as we take possession of these items. So we want to ensure our customers understand that their information is safe with us. However, some customers will request additional safety measures, and we can certainly provide that. We offer 4 different hard drive services. The first is going to be hard drive sanitization. This is what I just explained to you. This is standard, and they get it whether they ask for it or not. And this is the process of overriding the existing data on a hard drive to make it unusable and it cannot be accessed at that point. The second that we offer is degaussing, and this is a process that introduces a hard drive to a strong electromagnetic field, and what this does is it will scramble the properties of the disk to make not only the information unusable, but also to make the hard drive completely unusable at that point. The third service that we offer is a punch, and this service involves a hydraulic punch, which will physically puncture the hard drive, shatter the disk, and destroy the disk and the functionality of the hard drive itself. The last one that we offer is not very common, but we do offer it. It is shredding. This is hard drive shredding, and we offer this service. It includes an initial degaussing. The hard drive is degaussed immediately upon arrival to our facility to ensure that the data is completely erased. And then once that is done, it is packaged up. It is sent to a vendor that we have contracted with to actually physically shred the hard drive, and just like a paper shredder does to a piece of paper, they put the hard drives in and it shreds it into little tiny pieces. And as you can imagine, it is absolutely no longer usable at that time. Now that we kind of know a little bit about what we do and why we do it, the different clients that we work with, as well as what electronic waste is, and the different services that we offer, I want to go into a little bit of the dynamics of the phone calls and maybe help you to lay out how to make these phone calls and see if we can't set up something for you that will give you a better understanding of exactly how to approach making these different phone calls. And the first thing we're going to talk about, which is probably what you're going to spend the majority of your day doing, is finding out how to get to the decision maker. Now, to get to the decision maker, you have to A, know who you're asking for, B, ask the right questions, and C, continue to investigate and work to get around various gatekeepers inside of an organization. Now, the easiest way to do this is to use your scripts. You have each been provided with scripts to help you get through to each of these gatekeepers. One thing that we have to keep in mind is we cannot express how important it is not to pitch our service or our company to a gatekeeper, a receptionist, or somebody that is not the decision maker. Many people inside of the company that you are calling have the ability to say no. Typically, there is one person that has the ability to say yes, and that is the person that we want to speak with, because we want to make sure that we get a yes from the customer. Now, we truly believe, and I truly believe, that our company is second to none when it comes to electronic recycling, and we need to actually portray that to the clients. Some of the clients that we are going to be calling are paying for their electronic recycling. They're paying for the company to come out and pick it up. They're having to haul the stuff off themselves, or they don't have a program. They're storing the stuff up. These are all clients that we need to get in touch with so that we can A, save them money, and B, make their lives so much easier. So I truly believe that when we are reaching out to these clients, they want to hear what we have to say. They want to know what we can do to make their lives easier. You'll hear us say to add to your bottom line. This is not a phrase that we want to take lightly or overlook altogether. When we call a client and we tell them that we want to help them add to their bottom line, this is a phrase that any person inside of a company, in an executive level or in a level that's high enough to make these decisions, they want to be able to make an impact on the company. They want to be able to save the company money, make the company extra money, or both. So when you say that we want to help add to the bottom line of your company, that is really grabbing somebody's attention, because now they want to know how you can add to their bottom line. And we can add to their bottom line in many different ways. If you're talking about a company that's paying for electronic recycling, we can absolutely save them money. If it's a company that's hauling their material off and recycling it free of charge, we can absolutely save them not only money, but save them time. And if you think of it this way, anytime they have to send somebody to haul this material, they're paying labor, they're paying transportation, and they're probably paying for whatever fuel they're paying to get that material to the center where they're taking it to. So we can absolutely save them not only time, but we can save them money and frustration. So keep these things in mind as we're going. Now, if you get a hold of a client that says, we're getting paid for the material that we get, then we want to address that a little bit differently. Can we pay for the material from these clients? Absolutely, we can. It is a little bit tougher process. But what we need to find out is, and the way to approach this is, when you have a client that expresses to you the intent to get paid for the material, you want to approach them with a sense of excitement. Absolutely, Mr. Customer, I completely understand if it sounds like you've got material that has value to it. So I would love to take a look at a list or get a better idea of what you have, so that I can speak with my recycling director and we can come up with something that will impress you. We can submit a proposal to you, however we want to approach that at that point. But be eager about earning their business. However, we don't want to throw that out there unless a client asks for it. The majority of clients that we work with have material that is free recycling. Every once in a while, we will run across clients that have material that has value, has excessive value, that we can pay some amounts of money for. So that in that phone call right there, that needs to be elevated to your recycling director or your customer service manager. Now we want to talk about objections. You will receive objections every day as you're making these phone calls. So when we get these objections, we want to know how to approach them, how to take them, and how to kind of push them off to the side. Remember that everybody has objections to everything that they eventually wind up doing. We make decisions based on whether the objections are more or less than the proposed value, or perceived value of what we're doing. So you're going to get multiple different types of objections. The number one objection you're going to get is either A, we've already got a company that does that. Well, fantastic. I'm glad that you are actually doing electronic recycling. If you don't mind me asking, what company are you using? How often are they picking up from you? What kind of services are they providing for you? Are you currently paying for electronic recycling? Find out those questions to see, ask those questions to find out what we can do to maybe offer them something a little bit better than what they're getting now. You can oftentimes drag out the complaints or drag out something that they would like to see done better by doing that. Another objection that you're going to get is in regard to the televisions and CRT monitors. Some customers, some clients, some cities and states do not have the ability to pay for this, and we want to reassure them that we have their best interests at heart as well as the environment's best interest at heart. So when you have a client that says, I just can't afford to pay for the TVs, you want to approach that with understanding. And Mr. Customer, I understand some states, some governments, some organizations just simply don't have the funding to recycle those. I'm sure. What are you doing with them now? Blank. Most of the time it's going to be we haul them off, we throw them away, we send them to the landfill, whatever, or you send them to the dump. Okay, I completely understand. What I would like to offer you is the opportunity to actually make an impact on the environment and see if we can't get some of this material from the landfill. If you continue doing what you're doing now with your televisions, we could come in and we could pick up the rest of your material free of charge, and you would still make a great impact on the community, and I think it would be really beneficial for you. This shows them that you care about them. You understand that they can't afford to pay for this, but we don't want to offer to take them for free or just discount them as not interested, because we have many clients that we work with that do something else with their TVs altogether and send us everything else. The third and maybe the last objection that I want to discuss today is going to be mainly when you're calling large governments, large organizations, large companies, and hospitals. And that is, you get to the decision maker, and the decision maker says everything goes through corporate. We hear it every day. So what you want to do in this position is you want to dig in. Don't get off the phone. Don't rush off. Don't just hang your head in shame and just count it as a loss. Find out the number one thing you want to find out: who within your company, who within your department would coordinate that with corporate. Who's the one that would work with corporate when you guys had things that you had to recycle? Find out who that is. Get a name, get their name, and then see if you can find out from that person who you should contact at corporate that would be over this account. We can oftentimes save them from having to send stuff back to corporate and just come pick it up for corporate. This assists you for when you are making a phone call to that corporate office. Now you not only know who to ask for, but you have somebody that's referred you to them to give them a call. We hope that you can take the information that you've learned through this training video and apply it to your everyday activities here at eCyclers USA. We believe that this will give you the tools that you need to begin a successful career here with us. Again, we wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to meeting you.